We need to talk about Manchester United and the problems they've got. I think it were pretty obvious there were problems at the weekend because they were frankly awful at Tottenham. So, I'm having a look at... People are going on about Mason Mount being no good. He's out injured. We'll see if they're any better. Casemiro, blah, blah, blah. There's a common denominator here. On the face of it, Erik Ten Hag looks good, okay? So the improvement is clear in Manchester United. The season before he arrived, they finished 6th, 35 points behind City. Under Ten Hag last season, they finished 3rd, 14 points behind City. Clear improvement under Erik Ten Hag. But then it was from a pretty low base by United standards. But here's a list of things that don't look well. They don't reflect well on Erik Ten Hag. He's failed to improve Sancho. Failed to improve Anthony. He's disrespected De Gea. He's killed Maguire's United career. He's created a midfield that makes Casemiro looks terrible. And now he's setting about ruining Mason Mount. So with that midfield, that he has no idea how to seemingly how to create a midfield that could be effective in Premier League games. So is Erik Ten Hag actually any good? So our football correspondent Alex Crook is a Man United fan. He's out of the closet, a United fan, and his nickname for Erik Ten Hag, Little Bald Genius. Okay, I mean, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. He's little, he's bald, but he's not a genius.
Who bought Casemiro?
That was the start of last season, wasn't it?
Ten Hag.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So what are you saying?
Well, he was magnificent last season.
Was he really?
Yeah.
He was all right.
Every time you took him out of that team, United were hopeless.
Did you see him at the weekend though?
It's one
They're
game.
running all over him.
But again, you're 2 games in. They win the next game, they're in the top 4. It's one game.
Yeah, but they don't. It's how they're playing. They were hang on. They were second best, very much second best against Wolves, who couldn't put the ball in the net. They were hopeless against Spurs, and no chance. They didn't even look like scoring. Never mind winning the game. He's playing Rashford down the middle and shouldn't be. And
that's because the new signing isn't ready yet. More obviously isn't available.
Are you okay? You're okay. You think he's all right, do you? Ten Hag. You're not questioning him.
I've looked at his career previous to this. He improves individuals. He improves most players that he's worked with. I don't think that's in doubt. I think give him 10 games before you make any sort of judgments.
Was that a whole season last season?
But he's had to tweak the team. There's been quite a few changes, over the summer. Within that, obviously he's trying to bring in a new centre forward. He's making do in that point. Players, are they up to speed? Yet everyone always says it's 5 or 6 games till the players get right at it. So I wouldn't be panicking in any way, shape or form.
Okay, I'm not saying Erik Ten Hag should be sacked. I'm just wondering how good he is. For me, he's still got it all to prove. I don't think a decent manager, I would say, would take them into the top 4 last season with the players at his disposal. And he did that. Now it's about improving again beyond that. So you can't take away what happened in the first season. That was a clear improvement on the dross that went before. But I look at that midfield 3 of Casemiro, Mount and Fernandes, and I'm wondering if that is the right midfield 3. I'm wondering if
it might not be.
Does he really know what he's doing? That's the question I'm asking.
He obviously thought that was the way to go. He's looked at it and thought, right, these can play together. Maybe they can't. So maybe he's going to have to adapt within that. There was always the argument, can Lampard and Gerrard play together and Scholes in an England side? Sometimes no. Good players just don't fit for whatever reason. You need something a little bit different within that. So what you think is going to be a great makeup, and when you're playing friendlies in pre-season, suddenly when it becomes to proper football and you're up against much tougher, stiffer opposition, maybe it doesn't work. The sign of a good manager is going, you know what, I'm going to change it. He might have that option because obviously Mason Mount's going to be out for a little bit. Sometimes you get lucky as a manager. You don't have to drop that new signing. You don't have to leave them out. They pick up a little injury and all of a sudden, there you go, perfect. Mm-hmm. And it might suddenly work. So, again, you talk about Gary Rowett getting stick after 3 games. We're now talking about manager getting stick after 2.
Yeah, but I'm looking at other aspects of the team as well. So his signings, Martinez at the back has looked hopeless in the first 2 games. He was taken off at half-time of the first one because Mateus Cunha was running right through him. Possibly could have given away a penalty against Spurs. That's debatable, but it wasn't great defending from him. Own goal as well. I don't know what he's doing when he connects with that ball. And Anthony, another of his signings, we're still waiting for Anthony to arrive on the scene. And then I look at the other side and Garnacho's young. I mean, is he really going to be the answer? Because I haven't seen it so far in from what I've seen of him these 2 games and from what I saw of him last season as well. Has he improved any player? That's a big question to ask. Yeah, but did he? Rashford had those spells before. Rashford's a streaky player. No. Yeah, he did.
Not with that level of consistency. Never got anywhere near that amount of goals before. I think he gave him the belief, he gave him the confidence to go and run riot. And that's exactly what he did. I think when you go back to when he was in Holland, he improves individuals. That takes time. The individual's got to want to do it, got to want to improve. So you can't improve an individual over the course of pre-season. It takes 6 months, a season, to do that. You know, when you're talking about, you know, some of those players, I question them. I question their hunger, their desire. Are they doing absolutely everything possible, you know, within that? Obviously, Steve McLaren's in there, who I know well. He was a top coach, absolutely, you know, fantastic coach in how he does and the way that he thinks about things. I know people will say, well, okay, his managerial career didn't quite work out as planned, but as a coach, he's exceptional. And again, he will improve players within that, but it takes time. And I think when you focus on improving the individuals, that takes longer, but you get a better effect in the long term. But this is why you get Sam Allardyce, Tony Pulis back in the day, Neil Warnock, come in, improve the team, because they go shut up shop, organised, make the team really solid, difficult to beat, nick some results. But does anyone get better? No, they don't. So to make individuals better does take 6 months, does take a year. But then they're better for 3, 4, 5 years after that. That's the big difference, and that's why sometimes it takes a little bit of time.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.